Hi everybody and welcome. I am your host with the mustache. I think so. That's not a mustache. I really have to come with a better one. But thank you for coming and tuning in. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to give you some inspiration on how I chose the colors for this super cute window quilt. I'm going to show you more of the colors and also how I do raw edge applique. Now that is my favorite method of applique, but I'll go into all the details and explain it why. And I will sit down here at my sewing machine and I'll show you how I do it exactly. Well, hello Amanda, welcome. It's a beautiful spring day in Louisiana. Oh, I'm so glad. It is gorgeous here too. Oh, like almost 70s. It's beautiful, beautiful. Hi Kae, welcome, welcome. If you like all things quilty, if you like learning about quilts and meeting with other quilters, you are in the right place, my friend, because the people making the comments right there and more to come are some of the nicest, most encouraging, creative quilters that I know. And you're absolutely welcome here. So tune in. Tell me, is it spring where you are? Because it is very spring here. It is wonderful, wonderful, beautiful day. See, I'm in my short sleeves even. So there we go. All right, so before I jump in, first I'm going to tell you about the some upcoming events that I have. So I am going to be Zooming to Los Angeles and I'm going to be speaking to the West Side Quilters Guild. April 8th and 9th. And then April 11th, I'm going to be going to Kansas City, Missouri for the Lee Summit Quilters Guild. I have never been to Kansas City, Missouri, but I'm very excited. She asked me, one of the gals who was hosting me said, well, what do you want to do while you're here? Is there any place special that you want to go? You know, because it's a chance to visit. I said, you know, and she was like, do you have any food restrictions? I said, all I want to do is I want to have good Kansas City barbecue. That's what I want. That's what it's known for. Let's go do that. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then April 20th, I'm going to be a guest on Annie's Block Party on Facebook, and I will post more about that when we get closer to that. Then April 25th, I'm going to be Zooming to Durham Orange County Quilters Guild in North Carolina. So I'm very excited. And next week for the demo, I'm going to be going back to my color series. We've been working our way around the color wheel, and the one that we have next color is blue. And I love, wait, did I already talk about blue? No, I did green. I did lime green, right? Lime green is a neutral. I firmly believe that. No, I'm going to be talking about blue. All things being equal, blue is my favorite color. So I'm going to talk about that, all the different ways blue works, how you can use blue in your color wheel. We're going to walk through different coordinations and all those kinds of things. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. And I had a fantastic sale yesterday. So there was not a lot of action on the actual live part yesterday. It was just 24 hours ago, but I got a lot of action afterwards. People contacting me, seeing it later, viewing it later on YouTube, and that's awesome. So if you appreciate quilting videos, if you get something out of today's video, share it with your other quilting friends, share it with anybody else that you think might enjoy it. Share it with shop owners that you know, if you've got a relationship with them, or other quilting guilds. I would love to be a part of that and be able to go there and lecture and speak. But also, if you want to know every single time I post, so you can see, if you, just in case you want to go watch it, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the little bell, ding, 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 and then you'll get a little alert that'll say, hey, Jenny's posted a video, go check it out. So that way you won't miss anything. But, okay, and then I have other something coming up. A week from Thursday, no, next week on Thursday, that's what I mean. Hi, Virginia, welcome, I'm so glad you're here. All's good, all's good. Blue is your favorite color too, Kay? Yes, I know, right? And my husband popped up this question like, why do we have favorite colors? And that's interesting. I think I want to dig into that and talk about why we have favorite colors. That's such a good question. I want to talk about that. And why certain colors are favorites at certain points in our life. Interesting. Fascinating. All right, but speaking of color, hey, good segue, Kay, I appreciate that. Speaking of color, next Thursday, I will be starting the Quilters Color Course Work Along. So I have a color course that is designed specifically for quilters to help you gain color confidence when you pick out fabrics for your quilts. I talk a lot on here about color and I'm passionate about it, but I developed this course based on a lot of my experience in shops, helping people just like you pick out fabrics for quilts you love. And that's what I love to do. This is a 5-lesson course. There's 3 videos, 5 lessons, and it's a standalone course. You can go to my website. I have the links in there in the comment section. You can go there and you could start the course right now. But next Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, I am starting a work-along. So it meets for 6 weeks, and we are going to go through every lesson one at a time. The first time we're going to meet and get to know each other, introduce the first lesson, the concepts, and answer any questions. And then each week, you'll complete exercises, send me pictures of those exercises, and then we will talk about them on Zoom as we work together for everybody. So it's a great way to develop your color mastery, to better understand color. And I don't want you to be intimidated, because you start talking about color theory, and I know I did this, my eyes kind of, okay, glaze over, but it's not for artists, it's not for painters, it's not for interior design, it's specifically for quilters. So we work with fabric, we work with all different kinds of things that quilters would work with, and helping you understand specific to quilting. We do talk about the color wheel a bit, because that's what I do, but it's just kind of an introduction to it. And the videos that I do on it, while I'm talking about color, I don't share the same exercises in the videos that I share for free. This is a course, and it's much more intensive. It's a deep dive into that. So if you want some color courage, you need to go check it out. I have the links in there, but I have something special for you today. Actually, I'm going to do it this weekend. This weekend. Oh, and I'll put the stuff in the description here. This weekend, if you purchase the color course, you can join the work along free. That's right, free. I said it. I'm going to give a coupon code. I'm going to put the coupon code right here. Let me make sure it's all caps. It's WAL 1 2022. That's the coupon code. If you purchase the color course between now and Sunday night, then you can join the work along for free using that coupon code. So there you go. If you have any other questions about it, you be sure to let me know or post them in the comments. And in fact, if you're watching this after the fact, absolutely ask me more questions. I would love to have you be a part of it. There is also a kit for the color course, which helps people out, because one of the requirements is 270 to 300 2-inch squares cut and ready to go. And so for some people, that's like, whoa, I don't think so. But my kit includes that. It includes everything that you need except poster board. You have to go buy poster board, because shipping that is just, no, I'm not going to do that. So you just go buy inexpensive white poster board, and you are good to go. All right. So, yeah, that is it. And let me dive in. Let me start talking about stuff here. Okay, so I am using, those of you who follow me for a while, you know I am a Cherrywood Fabrics ambassador. And I was thinking about this today. I don't love the fabric because I'm an ambassador. I was picked to be an ambassador because I love Cherrywood fabric. It's beautiful, hand-dyed, glorious fabric, and that is what we have here behind me. So let me pull this up here. It is hand-dyed, beautiful solids, but they always have this gorgeous suede look to them, and they're soft, and they sew up so beautifully. It's just gorgeous. So I did this with Cherrywood, and everything I'm going to show you, I'm going to use the Cherrywood fabrics to demonstrate, because I want you to see that. I put a link to my absolute favorite place to get Cherrywood. That is at Wooden Spools, and I put a link in there. So if you want to absolutely go check that out. Oh, I better write what that coupon code is. Okay, I'll write it in just a second. But the coupon code is going to be good for until Sunday night. So be sure, grab it if you want to be a part of that. I would love to have you there. We're getting a good group together, and I'm very excited. Very excited. Okay, so I wanted to do a quilt that would be winter. I was thinking winter. I'm in Denver. I'm close to the Rocky Mountains. There's snow. That's one of the things about Denver, right? And so I wanted to do that. What can I remember snow? And I'll tell you, let me show you this picture. So this one, I call it a window quilt, because you see my door there, my front door has a decorative glass window in front of it, right next to it. And that's nice, but also it's like, that's not nice. I don't like people looking in. And as a quilter, I like being able to have something there. So this is a window quilt. It's long and skinny, but I did have pattern testers who doubled it and made different changes on it so that it was a table size runner, and you can absolutely certainly do that. So this is like the first step in my process when I'm thinking of, I want to design a quilt on a theme. All right. The theme I wanted to use here was winter. So I do this every time. I'll go and I'll look, I'll Google, I'll Google like winter snow or evergreen images or something. For this one, I think I put in winter snow or snow at night or something like that. Here's one of the pictures. I'm going to show you 3 different ones, but here's one of the pictures. And so when I see it, oh, hang on, I'll show you. So this is one of the pictures, and I love that. Blue lovers unite, right? It's glorious. I love that. And so what I'll do is I'll take a copy of that, and then I'll save it in a folder I call Future Quilts. So Future Quilt Ideas. Or if I'm actually starting the quilt, I want it to go in this one. So this was one of the inspirations there. I thought, oh gosh, I just love that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I started to go through all my Terrywood stash and pulling different ones together and do it. And I set it aside. So I'll do that. I'll pull it together and I'll set it aside and kind of evaluate as I go along. But it wasn't quite everything that I wanted. It wasn't quite. So I went back and I started looking some more. Sunset in the mountains, winter snow in the mountains, winter in the Rockies or whatever. And then this is another picture that I found. Look at that. Isn't that glorious? Do you see all the colors in there? You have whites and purples and really dark blues and a whole variety of blues. I thought, oh my goodness, I love that. That is a great inspiration color, color palette. So that is what I did. I used those 2 color palettes to help me select. And I'm going to show you one more. Pantone. Big, they're like the color company. They have big color guides that they have, and people love them and use them and everything like that. They always come out with a color of the year. And this was their color of the year, which was just after I created the design for this. And see, look at that. Look at that. It's glorious. It's just beautiful. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to show you down here on the table kind of the things I thought about and what I was doing. And this is a process I use a lot when I'm designing things. I get a theme idea. Like, for example, a way you could do it, maybe you want, and I did this for the leafy runner, fall leaves. And I Googled that, and I just kept looking at images. What do I like? What inspires me? What do I go, ooh, that's pretty, and pull that, and how can I make a colored design, a palette for my quilt from that? So let me show you the palette that I had. You saw it on there, but I'm going to show you, again, taking you through my process a little bit more here. Okay. All right. So here we go. So it's always, always, always important that you start with the dark stuff. So I have a real dark maroon. Again, these are all cherrywood. This is an indigo, a dark maroon, a dark navy. And because I don't think that this one color is not going to make it all interesting. I want to go to our purples. You see that deep, dark, rich purple? And then I wanted to evoke those glorious sunsets, right? The hills one. And these are colors that I've seen in sunsets. You have too if you think about it. You have too. And then I so much loved the colors in that other one. And so the first one that I showed you, so I wanted to have that all in there to gradiate to that. All right, so this is the color palette for the background. And I arranged it this way. I like going light to dark, but I wanted to make it look like I'll show you the picture again to make it look like we were having, it was a sunset, right? So if this is if you see how the top is a dark, the middle is that fantastic pinks and purples, and then the bottom goes into the darker colors and snow. And I thought, oh yes, this is the way I have to do it. This is the way I have to make this happen. Then, I don't know if you've been around snow. Not everybody has the opportunity to be around snow or see it, but I, as a Denver native, snow all the time. And you know, when you draw a picture of snow or you see it, you think, oh, that's just white. And a beautiful snowy morning, oh man, there's just nothing like it. But it's not just white. The snow's not just white. The sun will sparkle and glisten off of the snow. So that is why, and it'll refract and give you different colors. So that is why I went beyond just white, not just white for my snowflakes, but also a little bit of pink, a very super, super light pink, and a super, super light green. And I think all of these work so well together. I had one of my testers comment, and I love you, Mary Jo. I love you. I had one of her commented, she said she wouldn't use these colors in there because she doesn't like them. Got it. But my inspiration was that color. And so I totally understand. But this is just a little glimpse about how I design stuff. That beginning process is really key for me. Any quilt that I was going to do, say I wanted to just do a red and white quilt, I would pull up a bunch of images of red and white quilts. Purple and green, I did that a while ago. I was looking for purple and green quilts. What kind of inspiration can I find there to do that? So I always do that. And I would encourage you, give that a try. Next time you're thinking you've got like this one color, right? And you're looking at it, how am I going to use this? What am I going to do with it? Or whatever. Google it. Check it out. Pull up images of that. Quilts with light green, seafoam quilts. You'll find all kinds of things and lots of other inspiration there. I am not, make this clear, I'm not suggesting you take somebody's exact thing and copy that. I am not suggesting that, okay? But what I am saying is that you can use those things for inspiration. You can take it and you can make it your own. Make it part of the expression of who you are. All right, so now let's dig down to raw edge applique. I'm going to move these things out of the way here. So I have thoughts about applique. I think it's beautiful. It's a wonderful part of the whole quilting process. And every quilter, it's a tool you ought to have that you should know how to do so that you can use it when you want to. Now, I tried needle turn applique. And so that's where you cut out your piece. So here we'd cut out the snowflake. You make it a little bit bigger than you want, and then you go around it with your needle and hand tack or hand stitch all of it down all the way around that. I tried that, and I'm telling you guys, I mean, I enjoy handwork, but I was like, this, my neck, and it was so fiddly, and I just, it is not the one for me. Not the technique for me. Raw edge applique is what I love. I've also tried it where you fold under, you use starch and you fold under all of the edges of your work, press it to the surface, and then you stitch around it. And I thought that folding under that is for the birds. I need to find something else. I don't want extra work. So this is my method that I love so much, raw edge applique. And let's get started. All right. So the first things that you're going to need is you're going to need fusible. And here's a bit of fusible. And my favorite fusible, oh, can't pick it up right now. It's staticky. For this one is Heat and Bond Feather Light. I've used Heat and Bond Light for a long, long time, but not the Feather Light. Hang on a second. Okay. And I used Heat and Bond Feather Light on this because it's going to go up on the wall. I mean, it's going to go in the window. It doesn't need to be secured. I like to say that you're not backpacking through the Adirondacks with this, okay? It doesn't need to be fused permanently. I mean, yeah, permanently, but not, it doesn't need to be a high intense, high density. Something that's super light like this Feather Light, perfect. And always, the first time you're using it, follow the directions. Read what they say and follow the directions, and then adapt it. If it doesn't quite work for you, make some changes and alterations. So this is what a piece of the, it's paper-backed fusible web. This is what it looks like. Paper on one side, and you can see the shininess. That's a super lightweight fusible right there. Okay, so you can see that. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw on the paper back side, and then you peel it off and put it on. Then what you need is your template. So permission is granted in Winter Snow to take this and make the copies that you need to for your own personal use to do this. Okay. So you have a couple options. This, I tried to make the lines in the pattern dark enough and thick enough so that you could just put this on there and draw it. But if you can't see through whatever pattern you're trying to use, you can put this in a window and trace around it, or a light box and trace it. And then I'm going to trace here with this, and I love, love, love my Sharpie. The Sharpie is the one, it's an ultra fine point. Not a thicker point, but an ultra fine point. And I'm just going to start drawing a little bit. I am not going to draw the whole thing, so don't worry. Start drawing a little bit. But even if you make some little goofs, like stuff is just a little bit different, it's okay. It's a little bit more interesting, and you could fix any problems sometimes with the way you cut it out. You can also tape this fusible onto your paper if that's more helpful. So we would just come around and draw all of the edges of our little snowflake. This is not a time to rush. This is a time, turn on a podcast you love, pull on a quilting video from Jenny Kae, and watch the video and just enjoy that. So you would see how I'd go all around there and do the whole thing. Oh, look at that. That one's done. So there's our finished one. Fusible on the back, paper on this side. I'm good to go. Okay. Then here's one of the snowflake fabrics here. Unfold it here. All right. So what I would do at this point is take the, oh, let me just do that here real quick. Hold on. Slide this stuff over. You can do a quick cut to get all of your stuff out of there. Like I could cut off these extra edges. In fact, I'll just show you. Let me show you. Cut off these extra edges, because anywhere this touches on your fabric, it's going to get fusible on it. Get those off of there. Go away. Go away. Be sure you put it on the wrong side of your fabric. But since we're working with these solids, there is no wrong or right. And I'll get that question, like with batiks, or what's the right side of the fabric or wrong side? If you can't tell, it doesn't matter. So, do that. And then I'm going to take, oh, this is one of my favorite, and this is my little travel iron. And it is called Steam Fast. And I love it. And I normally kick my stuff up really high, but here I've turned it down. Maximum is right there, but I've turned it down a little bit because you don't need it so high. If you're worried at all about getting fusible or, you know, something like that, or on the surface or on your iron or spreading it around or whatever, these sheets, an applique pressing sheet, are really good. I think I'm okay. Hang on, let me look at this. I'm not sure I cleaned off one side. Oh, I didn't. Okay. All right, sliding around. Hold on. Hang on, Jenny. Gosh. All right. Since it is feather light, it does not need a lot of fussing. So I'm going to press this on here. So then that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to check it. Is this fused? Oh, look at that. Yeah. All right, let it cool. because if you pick it up and move it around, if you're moving it all around while it's still hot, that can loosen up bonds, and we don't want to do that. So just let it cool. Chill out. Hey, my shirt matches the fabric. All right. Okay, I think that's probably enough cooling. And so what I would do here is I would kind of cut out around here, or you can cut out this beforehand. I always save all of my cherry wood scraps because I loved it so much. I'm just going to do a rough cut around the edges. And I save fusible scraps in a different bin because I have ideas of what I want to do. So all we would do now is go in here and cut along the lines. All right? Nothing, don't be too freaked out or anything like that. Go in there and snip this bit. And kind of just work your way around. All right, so I might dive in here. Take care of this bit. You also want really good small scissors. These scissors, these are Havel. There's other ones that are just awesome, but what I like about these is it has a tiny serrated edge right there, and I feel that it helps me get a better grip especially when I'm going around small little places. It like holds onto the fabric a little bit better. All right. Oh, careful, don't cut that part. Don't cut that part. Okay. So again, I would suggest fusing all of your snowflakes and then cut them out, get them in like this, and just sit down in front of the TV, glass of wine, and just enjoy some time cutting that out. All right, so I have one that is already cut out. It has the fusible on it still, so it's ready to go. And I have a little sample of some of the cherry wood fabric there. And I'm just gonna peel off the fusible, and then I'm gonna fuse it onto here, and then we will go to the sewing machine, and I will show you how it's done. All right. So to just peel this off, oh look, it started peeling off already. Beautiful. Now, if you have your iron set too hot, what can happen is that it melts the fusible without fusing. So it kind of like cooks it. I don't know. It's not good. So if you're starting to have those problems, your iron might be too hot. I suggest testing it, a little bit of scrap or something. Be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions, but if you need to make any changes, do it a little bit at a time and test it on scraps. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. And just very gently, you want to be very gentle. Not being pushy. It's not a time to be demanding. But just make sure you cover every part. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to kind of give a little peek. Oh, no, not yet, not yet, not ready. It's not ready yet. Do it some more. Another thing that I also have by my sewing station when I am working with fusibles is I have a little bit of glue stick, because glue stick or a glue pin should be in every quilter's collection is all I'm saying. And so if I find I'm sewing and oh, that little bit's coming up, I can take the glue stick and get that and put it underneath there and get that to stick down. But it looks like we are good to go. All right, so let me switch over here to the sewing machine. I'm going to unplug this here. Oh, no, I'll just leave it for a second. Okay. All right, over to the sewing machine. This will be fun, you guys, because I haven't used my sewing machine in a long time. And on camera, I'm excited. All right. Here we go. All right, I have fantastic orange thread, so you can see everything, but it is not typically the color I would use. Just enough, unless I was doing orange. I mean, you could do it for a fantastic effect. It would be really good. All right, I want you to see here. I am using an applique foot, and you can tell it's an applique foot because all of this is open, okay? It allows for whatever embroidery design or whatever that I'm doing for the needle to move all the way across there. Typically when I'm quilting, I have a single hole. So the needle is only allowed to move one position. If you don't have that, you can also use just your regular foot, but any foot that's going to have this space here. You just want to be sure it has that space, some room in there to move around. Okay, the next thing we need to think about here is what kind of stitch do we want to do? I'm going to show you a couple different variations here, but I'm first going to show you my favorite one. I love to use on my machine, it's number 15. It can be whatever you want to be on your machine, but mine has it as number 15, and it's a buttonhole stitch. And I'll show you, I'm going to make it just a little smaller than it normally is. There we go. Because this is small. This is small, almost a little delicate. And I don't want stitches that are going to look big and bulky or anything. So that's why I'm making this stitch a little bit on the smaller side. Okay, and I want my needle down. I pushed a button so that when I stop stitching, the needle will be down in the fabric. Now, I have done this enough that I understand, I have the feel of how my machine moves. It's going to take one stitch and go down and over and down. I'm exaggerating here. And continue on like that. So I encourage you, get to know your machine, how it's going to work and what it's going to do, because then you can create some really cool effects. So here we go. Here we go. See, down, and now it's going to go over and take a bite in the applique. Come back into the background. Down, and I'm just pressing one thing at a time so you can see what I'm talking about here. And then over and down, and we'll continue. Go a little faster. Okay, I am at a turning spot. So when I am in the background here, that is when I like to make my move. So I'm going to rotate here a little bit and then take another stitch here. I don't turn it while it is in the applique because that doesn't look nice. It looks crazy. I'm going to show you here. I'll get a little closer up here. So I just move it as we go along. Now, I don't want to take a stitch where it wants me to take a stitch right now. So I'm going to turn, I'm just turning the hand wheel. This is pretty cool. I'm turning the wheel myself. I am adjusting the fabric exactly how I want it. And now it's going to take a stitch over, and then it's going to come back down. See, understanding and knowing how your machine is going to behave is key to being really successful at this one. But you know, people, it is a process of trial and error. I learned how to do this method when I appliqued 350 aspen leaves onto a quilt for my in-laws. So that you will get to know your machine profoundly that way. All right. Okay, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to show you guys so you get a real good up close here. And then I'm going to show you two different ways, and then I'm going to show you how we handle the thread. So I've left a real good, stay in there. I've left a real good thread tails, and I do that on purpose. And I'll show you. All right, so you can see here, see it goes, I started here, right, and it stitches on the outside, goes over into the applique and takes a tiny bite, and then come back, down, over, back, down, over, back, down. And here, when I had my needle down here, I was able to turn this and rotate it just how I wanted. All right, so a couple other ways you could do. You say, Jenny, I don't have that fancy stitch. I have a zigzag stitch, and that's it. And I said, that is fine. So let me show you how it's going to look if we do a little zigzag, okay? And for this, I have a center line in here, And you notice for the other one, well, maybe you didn't catch that. I have the applique piece all the way over to the edge here. For this one, I want the applique in the center, okay? It's going to be centered in there. All right. Okay, and now I'm just going to go along and go back and forth. And then I'm doing the same kind of process with the turning, but this way it's not nearly so, you don't have to be nearly so precise. You're just creating a little zigzag element. And if you use white thread or matching thread, it's just going to disappear. Or if you use a really fun sparkly thread, whatever you do here, it's going to look like that's what you meant to do. Okay. Let me pull that up and show you. Okay. And of course, this is obviously really exaggerated because it's orange. But you can see it would go back and forth and just secure it. You could make these stitches smaller. You could make them bigger. Whatever. Whatever's going to make you happy. And then I tried both of these on my quilt here behind me. But I also tried one more, which I kind of like the idea of. And I liked the idea of doing different methods for each of the snowflakes. So I kind of mixed it up. Here, all right, so I'm going to line this up so that my needle, I'll show you here, so that my needle is kind of just on the inside right there, okay? So we're having 3 different places for our needles, but it's gonna be good. It's good. It's good. All right. Let me start on here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm kind of making an outline stitch. I want to just be kind of close to the edge, but not over it, and just kind of securing it. This is not a quilt that is going to sit on somebody's bed or get a lot of wear and tear, so this is a great stitch to use. Just nice and close to the edge. Again, my needle's down so I can lift up my foot, and some machines have a setting so you can say that when you stop, it lets the foot rise just a tiny bit. Those are dreamy, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You see how that little bit popped up? If there was more, I should have just fused it just a tiny bit more. That little bit would not pop up. And but if more of it came up, that's why I have the glue stick there, just in case. Because I don't want, you can't, if you're in the middle of stitching, you can't get up and run to your iron with it. That's a pain in the behind. That's a pain. All right. So this is, these are 3 different methods, and you could use them all. You could use one of them. You could use whatever's going to make you happy here. So you see, it gives us 3 different looks. This is the buttonhole or the quilting stitch. This is simple zigzag, and this is an outline stitch. And you could see you could create all different kinds of effects with it if you wanted to. All right, now I'm going to show you my absolute most favoriteest method for dealing with the threads on the top. You notice we have all these little threads on the top. And what I have here, this is a self-threading needle. And when I put those on the supply list, and I say, you got to get to self-threading needle, people are like, well, I thought that was for people that couldn't see. No, it's not. There's magic here, absolute magic. So I'm going to put on my thimble here. I got my thimble, and because we need to hide these threads that are on the top. And this is why I leave long tails. So I'm going to take, oh, sure you are. Sure you are. All right, so here's our thread, one of our top threads. And I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take this needle here, all right? Make sure you can see it kind of good. All right, there, you can kind of see how it has that eye in it, right? A self-threading. So I've looped this around my finger. See, it's nice and snug in there. And then I'm going to pop it in. Oh, I just realized why something is really hard to see. Oh, darn it. Okay. This light. This light makes it really hard to see. Hang on a second. Give me a second here. I'm going to switch views for just a moment and I'm going to fix that. All right. This is gaffer's tape. I use it to cover up things. You're getting a little behind the scenes treat here. Because I don't have any way of turning that light off in there. But it makes it all glary, and I apologize for forgetting that. La! That's so much better. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So here I have, I'll get the other ones out of the way here so they're not conspicuous. Here I have threaded my self-threading needle. Then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to go to the back from where it popped up, right? Where I started stitching. So that's on the back side. So here we are on the back side. Okay. Now I'm going to grab up both of these two needles, right? I have the top and the bobbin in here. Top and bobbin needles in here. And so they're looped around my finger. I'm going to take my self-threading needle, pop it into place, and then, this is so cool, guys. This is so cool. Then I'm just going to take a couple of stitches and kind of weave it through my stitching that I've already done on there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just like to weave it just a little bit. Like 3 stitches will do the trick. Okay. Then I clip it. I think this one, yeah, that's extra one there too. So there I have secured my threads. They're not going to show, they're not going to come undone. If you're working with thread that is starting to fray and you're having this experience, put a little dot of fray check on this side and that will handle it. And it won't be a problem at all. Won't be a problem at all. Okay, y'all have been so quiet here. I'm going to switch over. All right, do we have any questions about this technique? Okay, all right, everyone's very quiet. I'll give you a couple minutes because I know we have a little bit of lag time here. And I'm going to get a sip of water. And I do want to open it up for questions. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, get the alerts for more videos, share it with your friends, just spread the word. That does so much for me. Nothing is more valuable today than your personal recommendation. So your share would mean so much to me. And your likes and your comments, it helps me get up in the YouTube world and with YouTube ratings. So I would love that. I'd be honored if you would do that. Like and share, absolutely. All right, so as I was saying, next week on Thursday, I have starting the Quilters Color Course Work-Along. Links are all in the description, and you can find the links to Cherrywood in the description and to my website to subscribe to my newsletter because I have a lot happening, but I send out 1 newsletter a week. And, well, actually, this week I'm going to send out 2 because I really want to know what times and days are best for you watching YouTube and watching things live. So I'm going to be asking those questions this upcoming week. But normally, so one a week that has everything that I'm doing, every sale, whatever that I have, and all the links to it all right there for you, and special things that only newsletter subscribers get. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I don't see any other questions yet, so I think we're going to call that good. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. A week from today, I will be back and we'll talk about blue. And we're going to dig in, deep dive into the color blue and how you can use it in your quilts and all things quilty. If you have any questions for me, be sure to post them in the comments, or you can contact me through my website or just jennykaequilts.com. Go there and visit, or you can email me, jennyk@jennykaequilts.com. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much. And I think I'm going to call it a night. Thanks. Oh, wait, I forgot. One more thing that I was going to do. All right, hang on. There it is. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time.